Welcome to the Good Brothers Committee Podcast.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's another Friday night. You know what time it is. It's another episode of the Good Brothers Committee Podcast. And as always, I got my right-hand man, my partner in crime, Mr. P. Powell, to the third power, Mr. Preston Powell the third.
Man, it's always good to be back with the Good Brothers. Sorry we missed a week, but we had a lot going on. The NFL playoff, college football playoff. You know, good time had by all.
Sure
This
was.
week, Big R,
Mm-hmm.
GTO, Painkiller Casserole. Our good friend Oscar Rodriguez. This is a 6x60 painkiller. You know, whenever you ain't got nothing to do, it's always good to fall back on GTO because you know what you're finna get.
That's right.
That got one of your favorite six back in the mofo.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
That being said, Chad, how's your week this week?
Man, grown folks.
It's never the kids, it's always the grown folks. So.
Grown folks. But other than that, I won't complain. You know, getting reacclimated. Class about to start for me at Mississippi College and get ready to expand my mind. So,
okay.
Yeah, but other than that, everything's pretty good. I won't complain. How about you?
Yeah, hanging in there. Just another week of, government and doing what it does.
It just was another week. It was your birthday, Preston. Y'all
was.
Give my man birthday shouts out, man. Shouts out to Brother Preston.
Another trip around the sun. It's always blessed to have one of those. So, I'm very appreciative of it.
Indeed.
Got home, found from New Orleans, and, it was good. It was real good.
Good.
Well, speaking of which, thankful to Miami. Miami put Ole Miss out of misery. So, with that being said, and everybody knows the drama of Lane Kiffin going to Baton Rouge. Did you hear about what the latest is now that Ole Miss is complaining about?
No, but I heard there's some poaching going on, to what I understand.
Well, yeah, if you're not familiar with it, this is a little brief thing by Mike Messina. Mike Messina for LSU talking about it right here.
Ole Miss is accusing Lane Kiffin of trying to, quote, destroy our locker room. Oh, you got to hear this. It's Locked on LSU. Here we go. This is an LSU show. It's by name, Locked on LSU. We talk about LSU. But to the extent which things outside of the LSU ecosystem affect LSU, we will discuss them. And the dead period lifted on Thursday, and there were a slew of portal visitors to campus that I want to get to, including already a commitment from another offensive player. So I'm going to get into all of that in this episode. But I have to start by stepping back and probably pointing and laughing a little bit at Ole Miss, which I think you LSU fans are going to enjoy this. The Ole Miss fans watching are going to clench your fist, huff and puff, and slam the table. But I'm not sure if you've noticed what's happened in the last 24 hours in Oxford. And again, this isn't an Ole Miss show. To the extent this affects LSU, I'm going to talk about it because there are accusations now being levied against Lane Kiffin for causing what is happening at Ole Miss. So let me tell you what's happening and then tell you what the accusations are with quotes from anonymous sources, which are absurd. I'll get to it. Ole Miss seemingly had done an incredible job of roster retention. A lot of the players we talked about who were key parts of their playoff run, Trinidad Chambliss, Kejuan Lacey, Deuce Alexander, Lucas Carniero, a lot of Prince Williman Mielen, a lot of players that were really integral parts in building blocks moving forward. Well, here in the last 24 hours, all of a sudden the floodgates have opened. And if you haven't seen it, there have been contracts apparently that were leaked of Ole Miss signees that were worth more than what retained players were making. And so a lot of the players who were retained, now knowing these numbers, are very upset and have started entering the transfer portal. Even players that had already committed to coming back, players like Devin Harper and Prince Will Uman Mielen. Actually, if you look at the list of portal entrants, Uman Mielen, who's a fantastic edge, TJ Hedrick is a young offensive tackle who's now committed to Auburn, Deshaun Womack, former LSU Tiger, TJ Dottery, who a 2-year starting linebacker who visited LSU on Thursday, Devin Harper, who we mentioned, Corey Amos. I can go down the list of players, DJ Holmes, TJ Banks, whether or not these guys were going to be impactful parts of the Ole Miss team in 2026, and some of them certainly were or not. The point is, a lot of guys who had even already committed to coming back are now leaving. And so for LSU fans, it's a great opportunity to point and laugh.
With that being said, this is what they're saying happened. Well, the new signees that just signed, they get their NIL
Mhm.
money.
Mhm.
Somebody leaked the contract
I did see that. Yeah.
of the young kids coming in that happen to be more than all the players that they had there. Now, of course, like to that video, Ole Miss had been doing a really good job of player retention. A lot of guys didn't immediately run with Lane, because Lacey stayed. Chandler's he's applying for that 6 year. He's gotten denied, but it looks like they're going to repeal it. Which I
Right.
understand. One of the reasons they said they denied him is because he didn't even provide the medical records of his, for his case, claim the medical record, which is, I
That's
don't
not true.
know. That's not true.
That's
So what
not true.
happened?
That's not true. Basically, what it was that. Let me go back. So what's going to basically happen is they're going to file for a suit here in Mississippi and not in Indianapolis, Indiana, where the headquarters is. Because that's one of the main things when it comes to those types of things is having paperwork. It was said he had 91 pages worth of paperwork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're gonna appeal it. And again, that NIL deal that he's supposed to receive is impended on him getting his eligibility.
Yeah, right. And so what happened, back to what they said, Lane Kiffin is destroying their locker room, is that somebody leaked that the young guys coming in, NAI, NIL deals, excuse me, I can't even say
Hmm.
it,
Hmm.
was more than the players they retained. And of
Right.
course, they created strife. So a lot of players that decided to stay have now started to inch toward jumping into the portal.
Yeah, but
As you know,
here's the
LSU picked up a linebacker. We already picked up a receiver and stuff like
right,
that. Now
right.
people online are saying Lane did it. Now,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. You hate Lane Kiffin. I get it. You want to make him the boogeyman. I get it. And I'm not just saying that because he's now at LSU at my school. But how would he have access to the new players in IL?
I don't know unless he still has connections to Ole Miss who are loyal to Lane Kiffin.
Well, it could be, but why would they leak that in helping Lane or something? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, it could be a two-way street. Again, one could be loyal to a fault, and that's the thing. You have some people that's diehard LSU, Ole Miss, Michigan State, whatever, so have you, and it could be a thing where they want to sabotage Pete Golden.
Well, that's what they said. They blaming Lane, saying Lane is sabotaging Ole Miss because they said the locker room is in upheaval now. You got several guys that had signed NIL deals to Ole Miss have decided now to renege on those deals
Hmm.
and jump into the portal because they feel like they've been, hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray.
Yeah, right.
But
Misled.
yeah, you can't put that all on. But I just don't see how you can put all that on Lane Kiffin.
Well, you can basically because of again how he did it and what it was
Right.
and what is perceived of what he did and why he did it. Let me put
Right.
that out there like that.
Well, you can
So yeah, I
definitely
can see
make
that.
him a boogeyman. I mean, no doubt about it. You can make him a boogeyman. But the actuality is, I don't think Lane. I mean, well, you know what? It is a Lane Kiffin type thing to do. That could be it more than anything. It is a Lane Kiffin type of thing to do. Because if you
Right.
want to keep calling him out his name, and he's king of trolls, as well as they
Oh
call him
yeah.
the Portal King.
Hmm.
So this is Lane Kiffin type thing to do, but I don't think he did it. I think he might be enjoying that it's been done.
Well, I'm not really concerned about that because at the end of the day,
Uh-huh.
coaches can't play, players play.
Right.
Coaches coach.
I think they're more concerned with the guys that are losing than
Hmm.
anything else because of that upheaval in the locker room. With some of these guys that haven't been proven yet, getting more money than the guys who've been there and sweated and been on this historic run. Because let's be honest, this is a historic run. I mean,
Oh
those
yeah.
guys when that team pretty much legendary will go down as legends for that school, particularly. So I can see them being upset and being a little salty. Um, and those people, and then those guys who decide to stay, they probably feel slighted some kind of way. I mean, we decided to stay. We didn't follow our coach to a perceived to be better situation because you promised to treat us a certain way. But it turns out behind the scenes, you haven't been treating us as well as we thought we were. So
Yeah,
that
but
is
but now, not mean to cut you off, person, but now here's the dynamic thing about this. Now, one has to look at when those NIL deals were done. Who was the head coach then?
it's true too. You know what? So that could, yeah. Because he
You see
would
what I'm
know at
saying?
that point, yeah.
Exactly. Because who leads NIL directors? The head coach normally does,
Yeah.
unless they have a general manager who does the financials. And I think Lane Kiffin has a hand in all of that.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I guess you know what? You're right. You're 100% right that Chad, because they call him Porter King for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about it. 2 weeks ago, LSU didn't have no quarterbacks in the quarterback.
Yeah.
Today, we got what's considered one of the best quarterback rooms in the country.
And do.
Yeah. So that just shows you right there. You know, when he got the 5-star from USC, that was just a get of kids.
Yeah.
Already you went, got Sam Levitt back. You got the kid from Elon back, which is Sam Levitt, prototype.
Right.
Then you bring in the 5-star from USC.
Yeah. But then look around, turn around what Ole Miss did. They got an Auburn 5-star from Mississippi from George County by the name of Deuce Knight, who's a left-hander. And then also, if Trinidad comes back, that's another thing. Then if also they got another one that's supposed to come in as well. So it's gonna be tit for tat. The main thing again, coaches can't play the game. Players do. But in all, it's way too many layers to the portal that needs to be met. And at the end of the day, the one thing that's gonna help solve all of this is collective bargaining.
Yeah. At some point, they're going to have to get some type of commissioner or whatever they want to call them, chairman of football, somebody to run, put together
Right.
that to run college football. At least be Power 5 that good. Somebody's going to have to run. You want to get
Because
that up.
here's something else I found out. Now, and here's the crazy part about this, because when you talking about peeling back the layers, or we say in education, peeling back the onion, people only talk about the FCS,
Yeah.
and the FBS. They don't talk about Division 2,
No.
Division 3. There's a total of 10,000 kids altogether in the portal.
Yeah. And the portal closed today, didn't it?
Supposedly 40 to 48% will find a place to go.
Wow. So you're talking about 5,000 kids, roughly?
Less than by 3750.
Well, they ain't going to
So,
have nowhere to go.
and 3750 that signs, the rest of that, well, 4750, excuse me. 4750, 4600, something like that. So the rest of those kids will be stuck.
Yeah. And then let's be honest now, just like the kid from Texas, whose lifelong dream was to play for Texas, played wide receiver for Texas, did well. He wanted to stay at Texas. But Texas signed some guys in the NIL, and they told him, they pushed him in the portal, and he ended up going to Oklahoma. So you got to remember, out of all these kids, a lot of these kids, they didn't join the portal on their own.
No, they didn't, which is something that's not talked about either.
They got put in the portal.
They got cut.
Basically. But, here's the reality. Because here's the things that I talk about. Most scholarships are year to year.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of these guys.
But no, it's supposed to be 4 years. They get
the education
evaluated. Most of your bigger schools get evaluated from year to year as far as scholarship offer.
Right. So the NIL does give those kids that will get cut an opportunity to find another school.
Right.
It does give them a chance to find another school. But you're right. That is the part where they don't talk about. Like 10,000 kids into the portal, and almost half of those kids, are left out dry without a school to go to. Now, they probably end up dropping down on levels, sitting out a year. They probably do some other things like that. But a lot of these kids are getting bad advice. I saw an article today where there are no regulations right now to be a college football agent.
I was going to lead to that. You're absolutely correct.
So I saw somewhere where they were talking about, you might put some more information about that up here, but they were talking about how you got some of these guys, schools are paying them money not to inform players of offers they might have.
I saw that.
School.
There's a podcast with Chan. Is it Chan? No, Greg Sankey.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about that. Preston want to be an agent, Preston? You know what we got to do? Is go to X and put agent by name.
Yep. And just file a covenant paperwork with your state.
That's it.
That's it. And
we can be an agent. We can represent.
And they making money. And
but the NFL, you pay $1,500 and take a class.
And then you regulate.
Yep.
And you can't do certain ethical things or you'll lose your license.
Exactly.
But you don't have that kind. So that's why you really need permission. You really do need permission.
Because the main thing about it is that a lot of these cats are predators and they're preying on these kids and misguiding them. And also it goes back to who these kids feel like they got their best interest at heart. And I'm talking about old rec coaches. I'm talking about high school coaches. They trying to come up too. So, the predatory actions of these individuals, that needs to be nipped in the bud. And again, as you said, there need to be put in place some guidelines and someone who's competent to empower those guidelines and ensure those guidelines are followed.
Right. 100%. 100%. Now, hopefully, the NCAA moves towards that. Did you hear about the Big Ten wanting the new college football format? SEC wants to go to 16. The Big Ten wants to go to 24.
I told y'all. Now, I didn't say the 24. Yeah. I said the 16. Take the 17 to 32, 17 to 50, and you can have an expanded bowl schedule. Because again, if television rights, if television revenue is what you want, expand the bowl revenue. Expand the bowl season. Add more bowl games. The same day, the same week, high school kids starting out of school, like 15, 16, 17, 3-4 bowl games a day. Why not?
And you should start the season at least 2 weeks early. You shouldn't have week 0. Throw away week 0. Because everybody get 2 bye weeks. Now throw away one of them bye weeks. Because the SEC is going to 9 games this year. So, 9.
And you can still keep the 2 bye weeks. You start the season around the 17th or the 23rd. You cut down preseason. Because think about it, Preston. The majority of those kids go to summer school anyway.
Yeah.
So they have OTAs.
Yeah, they're there the whole time anyway.
Yeah, they have OTAs, and official fall camp starts around the first week of August.
Yeah.
You have less time to prepare, but if you're good like you say you are, you get the job done, right?
Yeah. Well, think about it. You don't have to come out the game in Power 5. You don't have to come out the game by playing Power 5. That's when you can put that game in that the warm-up game where you might play a FCS school or something like that. And for the FCS school, let's wait for them to make some money for the season. And then you can start conference maybe a week earlier. So, that gives you that week 0. You always got the big boys. You want to have those big boy matchups in that first part of the season, but
right.
I think it could easily do that. I think it's very, very, very doable.
Right.
I thought it was interesting, and they said it's going to be the Big Ten and the SEC going to decide what it is. The Big Ten is willing to do the 16 games if the SEC is willing to commit to moving 16 to 24 in a certain time period.
College football playoff expansion is on the table right now, and it's not about more access for teams. It's about having more control if you're the SEC and the Big Ten. Right now, as we know, we are in a 12-team playoff system where it is the 5 highest-ranked conference champions and then 7 at-large bids. Easy enough to follow. Well, the SEC is pushing for a 16-team playoff, which it would still be the 5 highest-ranked conference champions, but then we would move to 11 at-large bids. Basically meaning if you're actually good, you'll be in. Teams like BYU and Notre Dame wouldn't have been left out this year. Now, the Big Ten heard that proposal and said to the SEC, yeah, we'll listen to it, only if we can talk about a 24-team expansion down the line. Which, with this expansion, the SEC and the Big Ten would basically take 7 spots for each conference. I enjoy playoff expansion. The more, the merrier. But there are bigger issues going on with college football right now. And it is the College Football Playoff Committee. We have no idea how to actually get in the playoffs. Is it a good non-con? Is it just wins? Is it winning a conference championship? We have no idea. Is it head-to-head? No idea the metrics and how to actually get into the playoff. I want to know how you guys feel about this if you're a fan of a team in the ACC or the Big 12. Do you think that there should also be auto bids to protect you and not just the Big 10 and the SEC? And then don't even get me started on the whole Notre Dame mess. That is a different story for another time.
How much is the FCS? How many in the FCS?
16. 16.
16?
It's always been 16.
Why do you want to go to 24?
Well, I think it's I remember I mentioned on another podcast, it's almost to mirror the March Madness.
Yeah.
So you have a top 25, use the top 25. But if you're gonna do a top 24, you might well go to the top 26. I'm like a play-in game. Yeah, well, again, you still have a chance for the bye week. You got to start earlier. Yeah. Think about how in Mississippi. In some places, high school ball starts the first or second week in August. Think about it. Football practices year-round. When you think about it, in effigy, football never stops.
No, pretty much. No, it does. You're right. But I've heard some people this year complain about that 14 bye week because until this year came around with Indiana, those teams that had to bye have all lost. Their record is not. It's not a good record. I can't remember what the record is. The team that has those bye weeks.
Yeah, I can see that.
Miami beat me, Ohio State. That bye week. They played Miami, played Texas A&M, then beat Ohio State, and just beat Ole Miss. That Ohio State Miami's first game in what?
Yeah.
So it's like their first game in a month, and then so you struggle a little bit there, keeping your cohesiveness. Keeping it. I mean, 2 weeks is enough time for you to get out of shape.
A week.
Yeah. So I know a lot of teams probably not in that bye week. So if you do it that way, which you do the top 4 teams bye week, so that leaves you with 20 teams playing. That's 5 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5
right.
games. Then you move those 5 games to everybody's playing that next week.
Right.
So yeah, I mean,
it'll work. I said the top 26 because again of the play-in thing. To add some type of drama, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, because
the play-in game,
bring more, like you said, bring more bowl games into the fray.
Right.
Add more bowl games that are a part of the system.
Mm-hmm.
If you add more bowl games, you keep the bowl games. You just make these bowl games part of the playoff. Because right now the playoffs with the Orange, the Rose, Sugar,
Fiesta, Peach Bowl,
yeah. So yeah, and just you can keep those. They can still rotate because they rotate the national championship game.
Right.
One of them. You can
just
keep
add
all
to
that because they got the semifinals. They that's all rotated. And
right.
Like I said, you just expand out from that to all these other. Start adding these other bowl games to that.
Right.
And then it's going to be more money. Like you said, it's going to be more lucrative. Because those bowls, the games that you add, are going to get bigger teams.
Yeah. And it's going to create bigger revenue, too.
And let's be honest. You expand it from 12 to 16. Some other 4 teams coming from the Power 4.
True.
More than likely.
Yeah.
So you're looking at teams, more Georgias, more Penn States, more Notre Dames, Oklahoma's, Texas, Florida States, Miami, Clemson, because let's look at it. Miami's in that championship game. They were the last to get in this year.
Yeah.
There you go. That's something up there.
Yeah. So, like you said, but that was my whole thing. I think it's intriguing because again, you get a chance to expand the bowl series. And then like even outside of the FBS series. I'm talking about the bowl season period.
Yeah, yeah.
So you want to get that's a chance to highlight, your mid-major schools, and then those mid-major schools are making moves, are doing what's necessary to compete,
Right.
despite what people may think. I think next year is going to be pretty interesting because they're doing a good job of recruiting too. So you can't rest on your laurels. It's all about what have you done for me lately. You can't live in the past. You got to live for right now. So it's gonna be a thing of, are you ready to play week in and week out? Because again, go back to what you said, one of those bye weeks could be taken out to keep from getting so called rusty and cold.
And
As
keep with the calendar, school calendar.
right,
'cause
right,
that's the biggest part of NIL that's screwing everybody up. Is just
right.
second semester. Like, it blew me away today. I said this to Ray and Johnny, kind of upset. My LSU Tigers, one of the reasons that our Lady Tigers struggle is post play.
Right.
The tall French girl from South Carolina?
I saw that.
She made her debut. I'm like, how the hell she can play this year?
I saw that highlights this morning.
She enrolled the second semester and is eligible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
Unless there's a thing about an early signing period, if she was able to get in before the end of the first semester, and all kind of stuff like that. Prayer school, it's amazing what can be done
when you know the rules, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
But look, before we get out of here, I want to do one more. I want to give a shout out to Mike Tomlin.
Man, Mike.
Resigned from the Pittsburgh Steelers after 19 years. Brother never had a losing season.
Never had a losing season. And he lost to my Texans. I had the utmost respect.
So your Texas sent him home, huh?
Sent him home in a blaze of glory.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. If you're not familiar with Mike Tomlin, we got a little bit about his story here.
Mike Tomlin has ended his reign as the longest tenured head coach in North American sports history by stepping down from his role as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And before we get into the logistics of that and kind of what happens from here and what's being reported, it should be noted that Mike Tomlin is an incredibly important part of NFL history. He was the 10th black coach in the history of the NFL. He had 19 winning seasons. Every single season that he coached for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he had a winning season. He made 2 Super Bowls, won 1 ring, and he is one of 2 black head coaches to win a Super Bowl in the NFL, along with Tony Dungy. To not have a losing season in 19 years is a truly exceptional achievement, and it speaks to his ability to not only thrive when things are going really well, but to make the absolute best out of whatever situation is handed to him. He tied Chuck Noll for the most wins in Steelers franchise history with 193, and he did it in the salary cap era and in far fewer games. At the end of the day, teams and fans want titles, and I understand that. But there is no denying that the Pittsburgh Steelers are not a head coach away from making the Super Bowl anytime soon. I understand that change has to happen and change needs to be built, but the fact of the matter is they overachieved by making the playoffs, which is what they've been doing a lot under Mike Tomlin. Now to the logistics. Because he stepped down and he was not fired, the Steelers retain his coaching rights. And if he decides to coach another team before his contract expires in 2027, the Steelers could demand compensation. Many people, including Mike Florio, have reported that he intends to step into a role in the media, at least for this year. It is still possible, however, that a team with an opening will try to make him an offer he won't refuse. And we have an idea of what that compensation could kind of look like because we have seen a coach trade fairly recently. The Saints traded Sean Payton to the Broncos. The Saints received the Broncos 2023 first round pick and their 2024 second round pick, and in return got Sean Payton and the Saints 2024 third round pick. For what it's worth, Sean Payton had 1 Super Bowl appearance, 1 win, and several losing seasons while he was with the Saints and Drew Brees. It makes total sense to me that Mike Tomlin might decide to take a year, go into the media, get his feet under him, and kind of establish the lay of the land. My opinion is that he just became the best head coach available to any team looking to hire a new head coach. I think he leapfrogs John Harbaugh. I think he was far more consistent. He had less to work with so many years, especially recently. And when you look around the league, there's some pretty good jobs open right now. The Ravens job is obviously a prestige job. That would be insane. Would I love it for Lamar? Absolutely. The Falcons opening is a pretty great opening. A lot of people still treat the Giants job as a prestige job. I don't necessarily agree. Head coaches have not been faring well there. And while Joe Shane is still the GM, it's dubious. However, depending on how they come along with that young roster, Jackson Dart, the whole deal, I could see the appeal regardless of what Mike Tomlin does, whether it's this year or next year. Somebody is going to get Mike Tomlin, and I could not be more excited to see what the next chapter looks like for him.
But great guy, good deal for him. Happy for him. Move on. Because, we know how it's well, you spent 10 years somewhere. He's been 19 there. Usually that 10 years the mark.
Right.
You got guys, your voice might seem. So, like, look at Jim Harbaugh left from the Ravens. I hear he's about to sign with the Giants. So
they said he left the Giants without a contract today.
Oh, really?
Supposedly. I'm not sure about that, but have to wait and see.
I got a better offer sitting out there somewhere. Maybe.
Yeah, have to wait and see.
That is going to be interesting.
Unless the Giants might go a different way.
Okay, you got anything else?
No, just everybody not doing anything as always. Come see us at Churchill Smoke Shop. Hey, mention the Good Brothers Committee podcast, 10% off your purchase, and come talk with us.
Yeah, we're always talking at the bar around town.
Come talk with us.
Something in the Good Brothers section of the shop, talking sports. You remember the cigar this week from GTO Painkiller Casseroles? It's one of Oscar Rodriguez, one of his more popular brands with me. But come check it out. It's always here on stock at Churchill Smoke Shop. And with that being said, you guys have a blessed weekend. Enjoy the championship game. But who you got this weekend, Chad? By the time this video is up, the game's going to be over with. Let's see who's right. Who you got?
I got Indiana.
I'm rolling with the Canes.
Back, steps up, delivers downfield, intercepted! Jamari Sharp makes the pick that will clinch Indiana's first national championship.
I think that front four can do it.
I got Indiana by 10.
Indiana by 10. I say the Canes and the squeaker.
Yeah, I can see that. I take Canes. If the Canes win, I give them 3 points.
There you go. All right, with that being said, we out of here. Good brothers.
Peace.
Y'all take
care.
All
right. Next time.
All right.